Hotep, Black Pal, Brother Shaka Sankofa, as always giving honor to the Creator, the ancestors, my sister who's in the ancestral realm, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul, my father, my mother and father-in-law, all my relatives and all my comrades and all the people who are of melanated hue that are in the ancestral realm, and Hotep and Black Power to all the brothers and sisters that are on the planet. What I wanted to discuss is the Impact Day. This is the 5th year that Brother Steve Coakley has made his ascension. It's been 5 years today. And I want to Brother Steve Coakley, which I did an article of him in my paper. Powerful brother who I personally knew. I knew him personally, and he taught me a lot. Although I didn't hang with him, but a lot of times when I was on Georgia Avenue in Washington D.C., I would roll with him and Dr. Khalid Muhammad, and sometimes Dr. Leonard Jeffries. This was over 20 years ago, and I used to carry the books, and by being just a student, being just excited and fascinated to be in the presence of those brothers, of those black gods, not knowing that they were going to become ancestors, way before their time. They taught me a lot about discipline, about how to stand fast, how to develop a foundation and stand on your foundation and not let anyone rock you off your foundation, which a lot of us call standing on your square or whatever. It's the same thing. And Brother Coakley, I specifically remember the first night that he presented the facts in the King assassination, of Jesse Jackson's role in King's assassination. I'll never forget that night. It was standing room only, and it was on fire. It was on fire. I mean, people were in utter shock, and Coakley, was on fire that night. I can't. It's real. I'm not saying can't, but it's really hard for me to describe the feeling of that particular night. But I know this, that the enemy, once again, paid, somebody that looked like us, paid a nigga, because later on that night, somebody drove a car through Steve Coakley's mother's patio window, in response to the information that Coakley let out about Jesse Jackson's role in the King assassination. He was a phenomenal brother, along with Dr. Khalid. I even remember when Dr. Khalid and Steve Coakley had a misunderstanding. They had a falling out for a while. And right prior, the day of the Black Holocaust that was held at Howard by Dr. Khalid Muhammad, who was a guest speaker, on the radio earlier that day, Dr. Khalid was being interviewed, and he, made it known that if anybody, he requested that Steve Coakley come to the Holocaust, to be on the rostrum as one of the speakers. And I never forget that night. It was just fire. It was just total fire. And they mended their differences, and it was all good though, and when Steve was I remember, and I have that DVD for anyone who would like to purchase it, with Steve in L.A., where he allowed O.J. Simpson to come up and speak. This was after the verdict. This was after the O.J. Simpson verdict, where he was found acquitted of killing those two so-called imposter Jews. And O.J. Simpson should have stayed on the path, because Coakley offered him a position, and OJ, still had that, overwhelming thirst, for the white bitch, which ultimately led to him being in the position that he's in today. But nevertheless, when he was in L.A., Coakley had went in the hospital. He was in a coma for 8 days. Came out of the coma and did an interview and, said that, that we almost lost him and, still had high spirits after coming out of a coma. But he went back into the hospital shortly afterwards and he made it clear that he may not be making it back out based on the experience that he had the first time, as far as them making attempts to take his life from him. The medical team, and it came to fruition, and shout out to Steve Coakley Jr., who's over in Ghana right now, putting in a lot of work, and I know he's, celebrating his father's ascension today, and he left on the 11th, 411, meaning information, and he was a hell of a dude, man. Hell of a dude, man. And I've learned a lot of, I've gotten a lot of my information. I learned how to do proper research from him. I learned how to look the names up of the people that, that own, the owners of the owners, and that's what he taught me, how to go deep. He taught all of us that who really studied and followed Brother Coakley, to dig in, the core negativity, the boule, the griffin, the guardian animal, who protects the people that look like us, who protect white supremacy, and keep all other blacks at a subordinate level. I learned a great deal from this brother. He was an awesome brother, as well as Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Khalid was more physical. Khalid was more hands-on the crackers shit, And so, that's where we designed our uniforms. Street Law Soldiers uniforms are designed similar to the Black Panthers, but not exactly like the Panthers, but have similarities, even though we have different colors. However, Brother Coakley was phenomenal, on the boule, and even the brother Alton Maddox, who was a true pioneer, true warrior, true revolutionary. He was with the loss of Coakley and Dr. Khalid, that really took kind of like a toll on the brother Alton Maddox, but he's still holding on, he's still hanging in there, he's still putting in work, but blows like that to someone that's close to you, they're devastating, such as the loss of my sister, the passing of my sister. I didn't lose her, she just passed from, but I'm still dealing with that, however, I put in a lot of work as a dedication to her, because she was a very, very strong supporter of the work that I put in for over the years. She was one of the fewest people on this planet that had confidence in me, that stuck by me, You know, they fed me, made sure I had something to eat, done whatever she could, you know, to take care of me. You know, and I'm forever grateful for her. You know, so, but Brother Coakley was a phenomenal. You know, the last lecture I went to that I think it was in Baltimore, Reality Speaks. And before that, last time I saw him here in D.C. was at McKinley Tech High School, you know. And, you know, as always, you know, you can never, you know, I never heard nobody say that a Coakley lecture wasn't shit, you know. Because Steve brings it to you. You know, he wasn't into dressing up and having this, you know, glamorous hotep look and all this bullshit. You know, and as a matter of fact, as he said out of his own mouth, he had a look of obscurity, you know, to trick these motherfuckers, you know, into thinking that, you know, he wasn't nothing but just some Skid Row type motherfucker, you know. But he was a brilliant genius in our midst, you know. So, you know, Hotep and Black Power, Brother Coakley. And, you know, may your research, may we carry on your legacy. May we continue to embrace, you know, the work that you gave the world. You know, may we continue to carry out the duties, you know, of fighting the core of negativity, you know, and, you know, going to the wizard, as you would put it, you know, and, we love you, brother, and Hotep, Black Power. I want to come back and at a later time, and I want to discuss, you know, the murder of black entertainers, athletes, and leaders. Black leaders, entertainers, and athletes. You know, I have that on I want to do a PowerPoint presentation of that, and you know, put it out there, you know, so you all can get a, you know, a pictorial feel of the things that I'll be discussing as far as all my information. Excuse me. Yeah, I had to excuse me. I had a bee just came in, and I didn't want to get stung by a bee, so that's why you see me, you know, fighting them motherfucking bees and shit, you know. But nevertheless, I will be getting back with y'all shortly. And until then, Hotep, Black Power, you know, stay up, stay alive, stand up. And another thing I want to discuss with y'all, when you see me doing these, when I do my video clips, a lot of times the light will blind my eyes, so my eyes may have a shut look, but they're not shut. It's just that the light, you know, and based on the position that I'm in, I have to have a certain amount of light, you know, for the camera to be able to be effective, you know, to have a clear visual and a clear recording. So sometimes you see my eyes kind of, you know, partially closed or whatever, or squinch, that's based on the lighting of the picture bulb that I have. So, you know, just you know, just a tidbit for you to be clear about some things. So until tomorrow, peace, Hotep, Black Power.